We are back.
Welcome again.
We are ready for you this season.
No
grief for anybody.
Giving to you back to back. Welcome to the TurnUp Chronicles.
Yeah.
My name is Yemi, the TurnUp MC.
And I am DJ OP, your unlimited vibes machine.
The sound whisperer.
I like that one. I might need to keep it. Have you trademark?
Trademark the sound whisperer.
We got the TurnUp Chronicles. I'm sure someone has that trademark already.
Yeah.
So we'll check.
Welcome back. We missed you. You guys miss us.
Yep.
We know in the comment section. Leave something. Like, subscribe, and share.
Yep. We're going to get right into it. We are doing business-like.
Business, yes.
Getting right into it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is, on this episode, is we're going to do a dilemma. Mm-hmm. And then we'll discuss another topic as well. This dilemma is actually interesting. It's a little bit long, but I'll go through it quick. The title is Dating Wahala as a Nigerian 22-year-old female in the diaspora.
Glory.
So this is outside of Nigeria. Dating Wahala.
Glory.
All right. She says, hey, peeps, I'm wondering how many Nigerians, especially non-immigrant status. Why did she segregate like that?
There's a backstory to it.
Okay.
Let's have it.
How many Nigerians, especially non-immigrant status, in the diaspora struggle with dating? I am... Okay, so she meant immigrant status. Okay, I am an international student in the States, so in the US, for 6 years now. All 2 of my relationships have been with African-American men. I'm currently seeing this lovely man who is great and has all the great qualities I'm looking for. We have been seeing each other for about 6-ish months now, and I think I'm on some love and wanting tea stuff. Okay, good for you. The wahala stems mostly from me. I want to date for marriage, not right away, but purposefully, with the intention to commit to each other in that capacity. The issue is with the reputation of Nigerian men. Okay, sorry. The issue is with the representation Nigerians have with the green card marriages. Clear my truth. Okay? And regardless of clear legal implications, I'm not judging anybody who chooses to go that route. It's not about making a moral statement about it. I feel like I have to tiptoe around what I want from a relationship so I don't come across as trying to use them as a means to get green card. Okay, so the person she's dating is an American. Okay. She's a Nigerian international student. And she doesn't want to seem like she wants to use the person for papers. This is interesting. I'm working hard. I did my own research, and I'm graduating from a field that has a higher chance of being sponsored by my employer, which is she's in the nursing field with a job lined up. This way, I'm not reliant on them sponsoring me, but I still do not know how to bring the topic of long-term intentions without feeling extremely vulnerable. I've attempted to date my fellow international students, Nigerian, but I've been served breakfast in-house. I don't even live in more times than I can count. I've seen another post about dating in diaspora as Nigerian men, and I think they made some salient points. So what would be your advice to her? So I guess she's asking that she's an immigrant, but she has all her things lined up.
Yeah.
And she's dating an American, but she doesn't want to come across like she's trying to use him for papers, but she wants to date purposefully and intentionally. So what should she do?
Yeah. Well, that's a very interesting story. For me, I would say, I really want to commend her because there's a saying, know thyself. So which is really important. She knows what she wants, because I feel like once you're going into marriage, you should know. Once you're thinking about it, you should know what you want. Sometimes, I've been guilty of that, and I know a lot of people of that. We've been in previous relationship just for just exploring and get into the dating world. But in most cases, you shouldn't even. I mean, people might argue this, whatever. But I mean, I'm talking about speaking from my own experiences. Past mistakes and stuff like that. Probably shouldn't. I mean, you shouldn't even date when you're not ready to be serious about things like that. So, but when talking about marriage now, and I mean, I'm gonna be impugning a little bit of the biblical aspect of it, but marriage was created by God. So if you're trying to get married, then you have to get that blueprint from the Creator Himself. So I feel like like I said, I've made that mistake as well. But what worked for me was once I knew I was ready for marriage, I was thinking about marriage. I wanted to date purposefully. I figured that it stemmed from before you even start dating is when you should have prepared your mind that whatever relationship I'm entering in should be about marriage. You should have had that discussion with that person. Where are you heading? So it shouldn't be when you're already in it, because at that time your emotions will you already be compromised emotionally already. You've been invested already. So it's before entering any relationship should be when you should decide on what you want to do, and that person should, because if you're trying to get into marriage, the people you're speaking to, you will easily know if you're into it or if you're not. So you'll be able to strike people out of it.
So I have a side question to that. We'll get back to the dilemma in a second. I was listening to a different podcast yesterday, and someone was asking that if you have two friends, and one friend has dated multiple people, and then another friend has dated just one person, but for a really long time. Or is married to one person. Who will you go to for relationship advice?
I'll go to the person that's been married for a long time. Because that one knows what it means to be loyal.
But only dated one person. So I will even put the disclosure out there. I only dated like serious dating. I'm not talking about high school and all of that where we were giving Valentine gifts. But I only really dated one person. I've been my now wife for 15 years, but 11 of those years was dating. So I only dated one person. But don't you want to go to someone that has seen I've only seen one kind of person, right? Don't you want to go to someone that has seen multiple?
I mean, even speaking from me, it leaves a lot of emotional scars.
I know, but you have experience. So someone's coming to you for advice now. You probably have more experience than I do in terms of relationship, because you've dated.
We're talking. You're speaking like I'm a veteran in relationship dating. I don't understand you.
No, I'm just saying.
How many does it take to be an authority in relationship?
In comparison.
please, let's clarify this thing. Please, how many does it take to be an authority in relationship dating or what? Please, I'm not a.
Okay.
I mean, I'm dated maybe two or three in my entire life.
Okay, so maybe not you, but I know people that in their adult life they've dated multiple people for a year plus, 6 people, a year plus. So I feel like those people probably have more experience than I do in terms of a relationship. For instance, if you come to me to a relationship with Allah and the person you're dating is a weary, man, I don't know how to handle wearies.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes experience does not even count as wisdom too.
I don't know how to handle some kind of,
because that person that I've been in 6 relationship, has that person learned, or the person just keeps moving on to the next person?
That's another one.
Because being versed in relationship, in dating, does not mean you're wise.
True.
Because you can keep making the same mistake and just be like, this person was the issue. You move on to the next person. This person was the issue. But are you actually even looking inward as well to try to see how are you growing as a person?
Cool. I like that. I would think that the person that's coming to somebody for advice.
Yeah.
I think that before you go to someone for advice, you at least say, okay, this person has a cool head now.
Yeah.
Before you go and ask them for advice. If this person still is like you, still
jumping
jumping
up
around,
and down,
I don't think you should go to that person for advice. But I'll say if it was someone that, you dated multiple people and now you're settled with somebody, I would think that person has more like experience and advice to give than me, like someone like me that's only been with one person in like a serious relationship.
Yeah.
Because
but I mean, I don't want to undermine your experience, because I feel like that's a very valuable experience, because you know what it means for a relationship to stand the test of time.
Yep.
To be loyal to someone for a long time. Not a lot of people can do that.
True.
People have gone their separate after 3-4 years, but 11 years to be consistent with that person, to know that I'm right with you all the way. That's a very, very valuable experience that people should do, because most people don't know what it takes to be loyal, to be committed. And that's what marriage is about as well. You have to be committed to somebody, right? There's no way you have series of dating, whatever, blah, blah, blah stuff, and you just jump into marriage like that. No, there has to be a time whereby you just have to sit down and, understand what, because it happens to me, after dating 2 or 3 times, when I saw that, okay, this relationship we're not going anywhere, as much as I wanted someone serious, but things happened, I'm not gonna point or go down to details, but I'm like, it got to that point whereby I because the mistake I also made as well was that I was already, quote unquote, in love before now thinking about those things. And that's the mistake that I made. But for marrying my wife, when I that's why I said, going through the relationship does not make you an expert. It's not a testament for being wise. So, but you sitting down and realizing, this thing is not working. What am I doing wrong? Then I realized that I'm trying to get married, and I'm not trying to seek the face of the person that created marriage. I'm already in love before I start praying. And once you're in love, before you start praying, you only see what you want to see. You're no longer objective. But at that point whereby I was like, okay, God, I want to get married. I want to meet people that vibe with my mentality, So at that point, praying about it, I knew what I wanted. At that point, I've asked God for help. So it was not about falling in love. So everybody that was coming to me after that point, after 1 week, after conversations, I know where we are. I already know that, okay, we are not going any further. You understand? Until it got to my wife, So it was easier that way. And that's why I said, going back and forth in relationships sometimes did you really learn, or you just don't want to be alone per se?
That was a big topic. Did you really learn?
Yeah.
We'll get it at some point. To go back to the girl's dilemma, I think she was asking about she doesn't want to come across as being pushful for papers or anything, because she actually isn't. But she wants to talk about marriage. So like, how can she do that? How can she bring up the topic of marriage? I
mean, for her case, number one, she's a nurse. She already said it that she'll be fine either way. So she does not even in one side, she does not even need to talk about it, because number one, she's not dependent on that person. But for complete honesty, you can always let the person know you're Nigerian. I mean, you give the person the background. The person will put two things together.
If you are going to marry somebody, the person will know.
The person will know you're a Nigerian. You are not born yet. So those things will come out of conversations, But either way, the lady seems like she'll be fine.
I think she shouldn't be scared about bringing up a conversation of marriage, because, like, as an adult, like Yemi was saying earlier, you should be intentional with your relationship. You should know what exactly you want out of this relationship. If it's not something that is going to lead to marriage,
if you're both vibing, you will see people to vibe
marriage,
with.
whether you're an immigrant or American or wherever you're from. If it's not something that would lead to marriage, don't talk about it. But if it's something that should lead to marriage, talk about it. The person can always think what the person would think. You can't really control that. And that your own thing is just, yourself, like, you have all your cards on the table. Just express that, hey, I would like want to know where this relationship is heading, because if it's not heading towards marriage, then I'm not in it, because like I want this relationship to head towards marriage. But I know the side thoughts that might be coming about. The person might think I'm rushing in because of you need papers, and you can also explain that to the person too.
Yeah.
You know, and say your job is filing for you and all of that. But that also would lead us into our next topic of discussion, which is going to be.
Before you even move, I also want to lay emphasis on something that a lot of people struggle with. It is not a crime as an immigrant. It's not a crime for a citizen in this context. It's not a crime for you to file for your partner that you want to marry.
That is very true.
It is not. There is nothing wrong, both male and female.
Yep.
And I've heard a lot of scenarios, especially for females, that are always like, I get why you're extra careful, extra cautious, but it is not a crime for you to file for your partner. Do not hold it over them.
And not everybody wants to use you for papers.
And not everybody wants to use you for papers. Do not hold it over your partner that you're filing for them. It's an act of love if you do it. It is not to be held as a ransom or holding someone captive. If you've chosen someone to be your partner for life, something as little as filing for that partner should not be turned into a weapon of warfare, that everything that happened in your relationship, you are weaponizing that. If not for me, I will not blah blah blah. If not for me, please do not turn that as a weapon. It's not nice. It's not good. You already knew what you're getting into in the first place. You knew that person does not have papers, and it's not like the person is just going to sit down and thought might not work. So please do not use it as a weapon. It's not nice. It's not at all. Please, if you're doing it, please stop it.
Yes, please
stop it.
It's a serious thing.
Yeah, and if you're not ready to file for someone, it's also completely fine. Go and find someone that has a paper and just be with that person.
Yep.
Don't try to let's see where this goes. No.
Yep.
Just know what you want and just don't make people's life terrible.
Yeah. I will also say this, that our Nigerian brothers or I would even say immigrants out there, are really giving other immigrants a bad rep, in the sense of, just doing all these papers, using people for papers and all of that. And this also goes out to the immigrants out there. You really should stop this. Like, all this doing fake marriages and all of that and leaving after a while and all of that, you really should stop this, because there have been also a lot of people that have been heartbroken, have lost money, have lost time, just by being with somebody that they thought really loved them, and then now use them for papers. Yeah. So this also goes out as a warning. Please, this is not a good thing.
Just be sincere. If your relationship is sincere with the partner, you guys should know what you're in it for. While you're in it, just be sincere. I think honesty goes a long way. Just being sincere.
For real.
And there's something one of my friends used to say to me back then, in all those thing. They tell me, like, it's like they say it in pidgin, like, last, everybody will be fine. Everybody will be fine. Everybody go do okay. Yes, like eventually we'll all be fine. But it's just an human nature to always be anxious, and be worried about everything. I even me, I can say that, being an immigrant, you always be worried about this thing.
Oh yeah.
But trust in God and everything. But last, everybody will do okay.
All right.
So if you're there watching this podcast and you're wondering, and I don't know if you're thinking about where to go, the next step for you, I think maybe this is just a word for you that you are gonna be fine. Take it from two immigrants that finally found their footing. You are going to be fine. We believe in you. We trust you. We know God's got you. You're gonna be fine.
And this is two immigrants that married two immigrants.
Exactly.
Well. Us and our wives were all immigrants coming into America.
Yeah.
And it's a whole long story. But that leads us into our second topic here, which is schooling in the U.S. as an immigrant. How is that? It's a long topic.
It's a long topic.
And I know we're already going a little over, so let's summarize a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it was a wonderful experience. Oh, it is. But it was a wonderful opportunity. I won't even lie, because me personally, I've always wanted to do my master's in the US, but I never pursued it. I didn't, because number one, I felt like, okay, this is not me shading anybody, but I've always been I had empathy for my parents. You know, for my secondary school, my high school, I went to one of the best schools in Nigeria. So which cost a lot of money for my parents, you know. So after then, I was just like, man, I've always wanted to do it, to come to the US for my master's, but I never pursued it. I never.
You didn't want it to cost your parents money.
Yes,
right?
I never told anybody anything about it. It was just a dream in my mind. So like that dream, I kept it like under lock and key. Like don't even come out. Like you coming out is talking about money. So I never even pursued it until I met a friend in where I was working. In the bank, in the finance industry, and shout out to Tunji actually, he was also planning on coming to the US, and you know, he was about in the process of resigning from the company and moving. Then he told me about it. We had a conversation, and he was telling me about the school, like you know, you can come, you can even. I was like, dude, I don't have any money to come, and he was like, well, you can apply for scholarship or assistantship, and you can get it. And so, but as soon as I heard that stuff, that kind of it just opened that my world to like, oh, there's something called scholarship, you know. And then I started, you know, researching towards it and planning towards it. And I told some of my friends about it as well. Sorry to cut
you for a second there, but that's the part a lot of people are missing, is that researching. You know, you could have heard this thing and then not do anything with it. Like people are, there are scholarships available, but if you don't now go and research, you wouldn't be here today. So that's a big point. Sorry. Keep going.
I think that's very important too, because sometimes people want you to do the legwork for them.
People want you to come and give them the thing on their laps and say,
help them apply.
I will also help you. I will pay for your accommodation. I will do everything.
Exactly.
People want that.
But if you want it as bad as you say you do, you should go the extra mile. Yeah. So even for the fact that Tunji, in this case, I'm using his real name because I'm giving him a shout out, because give people their flowers.
Tunji, shout out to
Tunji,
you.
Yeah. So even Tunji telling me about it, he didn't do the legwork for me. I say had to, because it was going to a different department, so it was not like he was helping me. So I had to do that research myself. I had to do the application. You know, I could ask him some questions, but I had to do that. You know, but
you get transcripts,
I had to, write all those IELTS and stuff like that. Pay for everything. You know, so you still have to do the work, no matter what the dream or the desire for it. You can't lean on people completely. You still have to do that work. So if you're chasing, if you desire something, you still have to, you know, you have to put blood and sweat into it and make it work. So you know, then I applied for it. You know, I spoke to my friends as well. I had someone with me that replied as well, and you know, I went for the visa interview. You know. And got so good. We got the visa. I got the assistantship as well. And that was what...
Graduate assistantship, right?
Yeah, graduate assistantship. That was what kind of like just...
And with that, you got to pay in-state or almost a full scholarship there.
Yeah. It was a half-time assistantship. So it covered most of my tuition. I only, because I was TN as well, then I ended up paying for the rest of it. But
which wasn't too much. It was like $1,000, $2,000 a semester.
Yeah, semester.
Yeah. So you see, like even I've been in America since 2009, and I didn't know that there were places like that people could apply to and get that level of assistantship to where they are paying $1,000 or $2,000 a semester, and was mostly insurance, right?
Yeah, it was mostly health insurance.
Health insurance that you were really paying for. So that's basically a full scholarship.
Yeah.
Apart from health insurance. I didn't know that. But if you research, you can find out things like that.
Yeah.
And if you need a plug, you might want to hit up me on the side.
Yeah, and shout out to, I mean, I got to give a shout out to my school, Western Illinois University, for everyone that went to that school. Yeah, shout out to WIU. Yeah.
I feel like an adopted alumni.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So shout out to every Westerner. Yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
you guys. You guys are thumbs up to you guys. So
Yeah.
it was a good thing.
Yeah.
And information, yeah. Another thing, like if you have information,
Don't hoard it.
Don't hoard it. There's no glory in it.
Uh-huh.
Please share information. The sky is a stepping stone for people.
Yeah.
If you have resource, share it. There's a lot of blessing associated with sharing good news, helping someone, you know. And I think it's a segue into even talking about our pathway to getting our But we can talk about that in another episode.
Before we get there,
Yeah.
I would say, so just something I've noticed about Yemi, and obviously we've been friends for a while now, is because of Yemi, there were a lot of other Nigerian students that went to his school because of Yemi. And because of one of Yemi's good friends, you'll probably see him on this podcast one of these days, Dami, more Nigerians also went to Western Illinois. So, like, through you find out many nations now. Through you, like, a lot of people were able to go to the school. And that's the more the merrier. Like, the sky is big enough for everybody. Like, why would you hoard information? So please, if you're hoarding information out there, you're only doing yourself a
whatever
disfavor.
kind of information, please. There is no glory in it. Be a part of people's success story. It's really nice. It's really it's heart touching when you do that.
Give information out. Me in my own case, because I went to my undergrad and bachelor's were from Wichita State University in Kansas, WSU Go Shockers.
Yeah.
Because I went there, I can count maybe about, well, my sister has to be one of them, but I can, apart from my siblings, I have 3 siblings that also came out there, all but one. Apart from my siblings, I can count maybe 4 or 5 other people that came directly because of me. To Wichita State, just from giving information out to people and saying this is exactly how it is, this is how I got my thing. My own story real quick of how I came to America. I'm like, may I spend my parents' money?
You spent it.
I spent it. I came in 2009. I did my undergrad, and literally what got me to America I was trying to study aerospace engineering, and aerospace engineering is not available in the Nigerian schools as at that time. I don't know about now. I know there's an aviation school in Kano now, but I was studying mechanical engineering in University of Ibadan in UI. I did that for a year, but I knew I was coming to America at that time, so I came here. I literally Googled, myself and my brother, we Googled cheap schools in America that offer aerospace engineering. That's literally
what you did.
Google search. And Imperial came out, some other universities came out, but Wichita State were like number 3 or 4 on that list because they have a very good aerospace program. They have wind tunnels and all of that. And we Googled that, and they were the cheapest and they were the fastest to reply. Before we know it, we type, they talk. We, as Nigerians in that school, we had to pay a deposit of $7,000 because other Nigerians have swindled them in the past. They will just come to America and not even show up at the school. So for Nigerians, we had to pay a deposit of $7,000 before they even send you your I-20. But as we paid that deposit of $7,000, I-20 instantly. Before I knew it, I had gone to embassy. Before I knew it, I had my visa. I was denied my visa the first time, but
What happened?
7 days later, it's a long story. I'll get into it for a second. The reason I was denied my visa the first time was, actually, I don't know the reason, but I had a current visiting visa at the time. We'd been coming to America since 2003 for vacation every year. And I had a current visiting visa. My parents, my mom and my sister already got to the school because I was supposed to travel with them, but I got denied. Me that I was going to the school, I got denied them because they had tickets. They still had to go, but it was something to do with my WAEC results. They said I needed the original copy of my WAEC results. And you know they don't give you that. You can't get that for like 3 or 4 years after you graduate. And I just graduated a year before. It was just 1 year.
Expedited.
They said I had to get an original copy of my WAEC results. So the week in between my denial and when I finally got it, we live in Ibadan. but I had to be going to
Lagos.
Lagos almost every day. To my school back in Ibadan, to Lagos and all of that. There was even one day I went to Lagos twice, back and forth. Just got a letter from WAEC and all of that. Got a WAEC printout of something. It was not the original thing, but me and my dad went to the WAEC office and we said, we're not leaving here until we get something from WAEC that has your stamp and everything. So anyway, fast forward 7 days later, 10 days later, I got my visa, and then they had canceled my current visiting visa because you can't have two visas at the same time. So I had a B2 visa. They canceled my B2, didn't give me my F1 visa. So I had to go back. The second time, the person was even wondering why they would cancel my visa, the interviewer. And he just gave me the visa. So I came, I did study aerospace engineering. Later on, I went on, I did a master's. And like we said, we didn't hoard any information. We sent anybody that asked me about information in Nigeria, I will give you all the information I have, but I cannot baby you. After I give you the information, it's for you to go and run with it. And do something about it. I cannot be calling you and be reminding you, hey, have you scheduled your TOEFL or your IELTS? Have you done that? I can't be doing that.
No.
Because my own is to give you the information. This is what you need. And then run with it. And people that ran with it, they're in America today. The people that didn't are not. So that's just a little bit about our journey. Should we segue into how we got our permanent residencies on this one?
Yeah, we can talk about that next episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So stay tuned. If you want to get a part 2 of this, stay tuned.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was a little bit of a long one.
Yeah.
But thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Like, comment, subscribe, share, and let us know what you feel, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
God bless you. We'll see you on the next one.
Yes, sir.
Bye
Peace.
for now.